author, poet, editor, and literary critic, Edgar Allan Poe is considered to be one of the originators of horror and detective fiction. Born in Boston on January 19, 1809, Poe's parents died before he reached 3 years old. John and Frances Allen raised Edgar as a foster child in Richmond, Virginia. Poe excelled academically, as he went to the best boarding schools around as well as attended the University of Virginia. Although, he was forced to leave after John Allen wouldn't pay off his gambling debt. Poe claimed John didn't help him enough financially to get through college, but either way, Poe left the university. In 1827, Poe traveled to Boston and enlisted in the United States Army, where he released his first collection of poetry, Tamerlane and Other Poems. 2 years later, before entering the United States Military Academy at West Point, Poe produced a second collection of poems, Alaraf, Tamerlane, and Minor Poems. Although neither collection received much attention, Poe was forced to leave West Point due to a lack of financial support yet again. Poe moved into the home of his Aunt Maria Clem and her daughter Virginia in Baltimore, Maryland. Poe began to sell short stories to magazines at around this time, and in 1835, he became the editor of Southern Literary Messenger in Richmond. In 1836, he married Virginia, who was 14 years old at the time. Over the next 10 years, Poe would edit a number of literary journals, including the Graham's Magazine in Philadelphia and the Broadway Journal in New York City. It was during these years that he established himself as a poet, a short story writer, and an editor. He published some of his best-known stories and poems, including The Fall of the House of Usher, The Telltale Heart, The Murders of Rue Morgue, and The Raven. When it comes to Poe's poetry, it's not hard to find a poem that doesn't deal with either love, death, or hope and despair. Poe's Annabel Lee of 1849 depicts a time when, long ago, in a kingdom by the sea, lived Annabel Lee, who loved the narrator. Both she and the narrator were children, but knew love more powerful than that of the angels, who envied them. A wind killed Annabel, but their love was too strong to be defeated by angels or demons. The narrator is reminded of Annabel Lee by everything, including the moon and the stars, and at night, he lies by her tomb by the sea. In Poe's Conqueror Worm, an audience of angels gathers to watch a play. Mimes fly around the stage as if they are driven by invisible forces, and the plot of the play describes sin, madness, and horror. Then, all of a sudden, a crawling conqueror worm appears and eats the mimes. The curtain falls, and the angels agree that the play is a tragedy called Man, and that the conqueror worm is the hero. In Poe's understanding of humanity in The Conqueror Worm, people are controlled by unseen and mysterious forces. For Poe, part of the tragedy of man is that the angels cannot help themselves but instead witness as the conqueror worm devours the mimes. Lastly, one of the most famous poems in American literature, The Raven. The Raven deals with a man trying to forget his lost love, Lenore, although he's interrupted by a raven knocking on his house. The raven flies in, and the man asks for its name, but it replies nevermore. Intrigued, the man asks more questions, but he continues to get the same reply, nevermore. The man begins to lose sanity. The man feels that his soul will nevermore leave the raven's shadow. Credited with being a part of the American Romantic movement, Poe's work as an editor, a poet, and a critic had a profound impact on American and international literature. Many credit him as the architect of the modern short story, and he was also one of the first critics to focus primarily on the effect of style and structure in a literary work. Today, Poe is remembered as one of the first American writers to become a major figure in world literature.